Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's conference. Today we're going to be studying conference number 26 of the phase A of this self-knowledge course, titled The World of Relationships. Before starting the conference, remember that if you have any question, any doubt, you can let it down there in the comment section, and we're going to be happy to answer any question and clearing out any doubt you may have. Also, you're going to be finding in the description of this video the access link to the WhatsApp group and the access link to the Telegram group. In those groups, we send the complementary material of the conferences, like the charts and also the audios of the conferences. And you can also communicate directly with any of the instructor in case you have any doubt or any question. Also, you're going to be finding the access link to the YouTube channel in which we have the list of the conferences we have studied in this self-knowledge course. Okay. Well, today, as I say, we are going to be studying this conference number 26, called The World of Relationships. And today we will discover how to improve the relationships with our physical body, with our environment, and with our inner being, thus achieving true happiness. Okay? Well, so we are going to know that there are three types of relationships that human beings have. We are going to know what their functions are, what state they are in, what would be their optimal state, and how to fix them. And also, we're going to be learning a very, very good practice, a very, very good technique of psychological death. This practice is called the ICE file. Okay, we're going to be learning how to carry out this practice. Well, the world of relationships has three very different aspects that we precisely need to clarify. First, we are related to the planetary body, that is to say, to the physical body. Second, we live on planet Earth, and by logical sequence, we are related to the outside world and to the issues that concern us, like family, business, money, work, profession, politics, etc. Okay? And third, we have the man's relationship with himself. For most people, this type of relationship has no importance, and unfortunately, people are only interested in the first two types of relationships, looking at the third type with complete indifference. Food, health, money, business really constitute the main concerns of the intellectual animal mistakenly called man, all of us. Regarding the relationship with our physical body, it is the relationship with our planetary body, a body that is made of matter, and that although we think we know it very well, the truth is that not even the best scientists have come to know it in depth. Given the tremendous and complicated organization of our physical body, it is certainly far beyond our comprehension. The function of this body is the condensation of sexual energy to create the existential bodies of the being. Unfortunately, the relationship we have with our planetary body is very bad, truly bad. Let's just look at the state of disease and degeneration in which it currently is. All the illness, okay, we are always sick and very weak, and this is due to the negative condensation of energy and the expulsion of our creative energy out of our body through fornication. Remember that the sexual energy creates, okay, and when we are expelling this energy, it's like we are expelling also pues our life. And as this energy, well, degenerates, when we expel it, we are going to be creating, well, very involutive things, okay? and we are gonna find all kinds of illness, no? In those bad creations we make with that energy. Let's remember that every time a defect manifests through us, through any of our centers, it uses our energy in a negative way, as I was saying. This causes the energy to condense in a negative way, producing diseases of all kinds. And let us also remember that when we expel our sexual creative energy, we are expelling the vitality of our body and earning ourselves a disease, karma, that cannot be negotiated but rather paid with pain. Remember that this is the harsh karma we were talking about on conference number 13. 13? Yes, 13. The optimal state of this relationship is based on the fact that there must be an adequate condensation of energy through the practice of suprasex, okay, the transmutation of the sexual energy. Having a healthy body and creating the existential bodies of the being. We're going to be giving this sexual creative energy a wise use, okay, to create ourselves rather than expelling that energy and creating degenerative and involutive stuff, now psychological defects. Well, to fix relationship with our physical body, we must work with the three factors for the revolution of consciousness, especially the spiritual birth factor. Psychological death eliminates the defects that misuse and negatively condense our energy and make us generate karma. Sacrifice for humanity helps us pay the karmas of the defects that we are eliminating, and spiritual birth leads us to regenerate our physical body and our vital body by giving a wise use to this sexual creative energy. Well, the second type of relationship is the relationship with the outside world. It is that relationship we have with our peers, family, friends, colleagues, and humanity in general. With the things of the world also, such as money, work, business, etc. And with our planet, with nature, the environment, animals, and plants. Its function is that we learn to serve others and that we develop selfless love. It is very easy to see the terrible relationship we have with our outside world. Conflicts with our peers of all kinds, enmities, selfishness, loneliness, misery, poverty, slavery, damage to nature in general, to the seas, rivers, forests, etc., etc., okay, to the animals. The optimal state of this type of relationship would be harmony with others, service and true altruism, freedom, prosperity, selfless love for others, a true fellowship, okay? To fix this type of relationship, we must work with the three factors, specifically the sacrifice for humanity factor, the one which leads us to sacrifice our defects to fix our relationship with others, okay, my selfish, ambitious, tyrannical, humiliating defects. Eyes or defects that believe they are superior to others, eyes or defects or egos of anger and impatience, defects that mistreat animals or that pollute the environment by littering, for example, and also sacrificing my time to teach others how to awaken their consciousness, giving them this knowledge in a pure and selfless way so that they can do the work of self-realization and awaken their consciousness. There will be many other defects to sacrifice that will want to prevent us from sharing this knowledge, such as eyes of what they will say, eyes of laziness and idleness, very busy defects who don't have time, well, many defects, okay? As regards the second type of relationship, we are always victims of the circumstances. It is unfortunate that we have not yet learned to consciously originate our circumstances. There are many people unable to adapt to anything or anyone or to be truly successful in life because they don't know that change is brewing from the inside out. If we sacrifice our defects, we will attract a new order of things and circumstances to us. The third type of relationship is the relationship with oneself. It is the relationship with our own inner being, with our own consciousness, with the eternal and divine that is within us. This relationship exists with the sole objective that we achieve the self-realization of our being. And the goal of our inner being is that we achieve true happiness. If we are badly related to ourselves, we will suffer a lot due to lack of interior illumination. Obviously, if the lamp of our bedroom is not connected to the electrical installation, our room will be in darkness. Those who suffer from a lack of interior illumination must connect their mind with the higher centers of the being. Unquestionably, we need to establish correct relationships not only with our planetary body, which is our physical body, and with the outside world, but also, and most important, with each one of the parts of our own intimate being. There are countless depressed aspirants who, due to a lack of due to a lack of intimate illumination and results in the several practices we teach here, have given up esoteric work on themselves. Few are those who know how to take advantage of adversity. In times of severe temptation, despondency, and desolation, we must appeal to remembering ourselves. Okay, the optimal state, and I say to remembering ourselves because remember that our being is very powerful. If we are connected to our inner being, to the fountain of wisdom, everything we do is going to be perfect, and we're going to achieve those results we want to achieve in the inner practices. Okay. The optimal state of this relationship leads us to see the results of the work we are doing, for sure, how we are advancing in the inner work, and also to have an increasingly closer communication and relationship with our inner being. To fix this relationship, we must work with the three factors, specifically the factor of psychological death, maintaining that state of self-observation that leads us to constantly remind ourselves, and the elimination of the egos that keep us in slavery and far away from our inner father. We also have to develop complete obedience to our being. And this complete obedience to our being comes when we deny our desires, when we don't do what the defect wants us to do, but rather we ask for the elimination of those defects, and we do what the conscious asks us to do. There is where we are doing what our Father commands. That there is where obedience is going on. Well, there is a very interesting practice called the ICE file, as I said in the beginning of this conference. It is a practice that allows us to see how a psychological defect has affected and damaged each one of these relationships. It is a practice that gives us a lot of strength to go fully against a psychological defect. The practice is very simple. We will take any defect that we want to work on, and we will reflect on how it has damaged our physical body, the relationship with our external world, and also the relationship with our inner being. For example, if we are going to study the defect of anger, we will begin by reflecting on the damage that it has caused to our physical body. Perhaps a heart disease, autoimmune diseases, stomach ulcers, blindness, which is a karma due to anger, and so on. Regarding the relationship with others, let's reflect on how we have damaged the relationship with our couple, for example. We are always arguing and yelling at our couple, sentimental couple, or with our friend or neighbors. Let's see how this anger leads us to mistreat them and always be arguing and humiliating others to the point that no one wants to be near to us anymore. Maybe under the effects of anger, we have hit an animal because perhaps it has made a mess and makes us angry having to clean it up. How, for example, I don't get along with my coworkers to the point of being fired and so on. And we are going to be how this defect is ruining our external relationship, or the relationship with our external world, also the relationship with our physical body, causing us all kinds of illness and sickness. And as for the relationship with our being, well, let's reflect on how, for example, I have fallen into states of anger and arrogance against my being because I understand, for example, that he hasn't given me something that I have asked for, or hasn't shown me something that I want to see in an astral projection, for example. And that anger, well, has made me neglect the work with the three factors and distance myself from my inner father. This is an example, but yes, we can see a damage there. If we do this practice with each psychological defect, and well, I have to say that this is the first technique of psychological death that I apply to any defect. Okay, so it's a recommendation for you to do it too. But if we do this practice with each psychological defect, we will see that they are really the cause of all our sufferings, which come from the bad relationships and disharmony that we have developed in these aspects. And that will be a great motivation to eliminate them. We're going to feel the force, okay? We're going to feel motivated to eliminate those aspects that are ruining our life, okay? Inner or external, and also our physical body. And well, guys, this has been today's conference. Thank you very much for joining us. Any doubt, remember, any doubt or question can be left in the comment section and they will be answered. I invite you to the next conference where we will learn how to dissolve the ego by eliminating its little details, which are what actually feed it. So thank you very much, and until next time.